Dear Arcadians, welcome to Lunar New Year 2022, the year of the tiger. For today, we'll be going through the legend of Nian, the history of Chinese New Year, the Chinese zodiac, as well as traditions of Chinese New Year. The legend of Nian. According to legend, there was a man eating wild monster Nian with an extremely large mouth, capable of swallowing several people in a single bite. This beast appeared in a country village towards the end of winter. When there was nothing to eat, it would visit the villagers and attack and eat whatever it could. The villagers would live in terror over the winter. One day, a wise old man passed by the village and told an old woman, "I will teach you how to scare Nian away."
That evening, when Nian arrived at the village, he saw that all the houses were dark except the house in which an old woman lived. Nian approached the house, licking its lips in anticipation. Suddenly, the deafening noise of firecrackers sounded endlessly. The monster was startled and it jumped. Suddenly, it realized that the house was covered in red paper. This scared it even more and it ran off into the mountains. When the villagers returned, they saw that the old woman was unharmed.
People later learned that Nian was afraid of loud noises and the color red. The villagers came together and agreed that when it was time for Nian's annual visit towards the end of winter, they would start a fire in front of every door and not go to sleep, but rather make noise. Nian had not come down the mountain to cause any trouble thereafter. This eventually became a tradition of China and leads to the celebration for another year of safe life. Chinese people celebrate in remembrance of this legend, and it still continues till today.
History of Chinese New Year. Dated back to 4,000 years ago, Chinese New Year or Spring Festival is the most important of the traditional Chinese holidays. It is sometimes called the Lunar New Year. The festival traditionally begins on the first day of the first lunar month, Zhengyue, in the Chinese calendar and ends on the 15th, which is called Yuan Xiao Jie or Lantern Festival. Chinese New Year's Eve is also known as Chu Xi. It literally means year past eve. Usually, Chinese New Year celebration lasts 15 days long.
Chu Xi is the day before the New Year. Therefore, it is Chu Xi today. Chinese New Year's Day is commonly adopted as the division of 2 animal years.
Chinese Zodiac. Chinese Zodiac or Sheng Xiao is represented by 12 zodiac animals. In order, they are the rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and boar. Chinese zodiac years begin and end at Chinese New Year. Each year in the repeating zodiac cycle of 12 years is represented by a zodiac animal, each with its own reputed attributes.
Traditions of Chinese New Year. For Chinese New Year traditions, what did people do in the past? We do spring cleaning, shopping, pasting spring couplets, which is known as Chunlian in Chinese. They wear off their new clothes, set off firecrackers, and pay their New Year's visit, which is known as Bai Nian in Chinese. They also receive gift money tokens, which is known as Ya Sui Qian or Hong Bao in Chinese.
Here are some of the traditions we practice on Lunar New Year.
What do people usually eat during Chinese New Year? We eat reunion dinner on New Year's Eve, which is known as 团圆饭 in Chinese. We eat dumplings as well, which is known as 饺子 in Chinese. We also enjoy Spring Festival cake, which is known as 年糕. Besides that, we also eat fish, steamboat, oranges, and pineapple tarts, as well as yu sheng.
Here are some of the food that we consume on Lunar New Year.
What do we usually do during Chinese New Year? We stay up late on New Year's Eve, which is also known as 守岁 in Chinese. We visit our relatives and friends, as well as enjoying Chinese New Year goodies. We also play card games as well.
Here are some of the activities that we do during Lunar New Year.
What do people usually say during Chinese New Year? For example, people say 新年快乐, which means Happy New Year. 新年进步, which means improvements in the new year. 学业进步, which means improvements in studies. 万事如意, which means all matters go according to one's wishes. 大吉大利, which means auspicious and huge gains. To end it off, we would like to wish all Acadians a Happy New Year.